I don't even know what episode this is. This is episode, let me look my YouTube right quick. I don't even really want to know. Oh, damn, I only did 3. All right.
I haven't even got dressed. I haven't done none of that good stuff. I'm just so excited to get back into, I guess, sharing my life, sharing my thoughts, all that good shit that nobody really ever cares about. First things first, man. Honestly, I got this segment that I'm gonna call thought spotting. So basically the point of it, where the name comes from, is basically a name to basically, give you something to think about. If I talk or you listen before, when I did the first 3 episodes, that's season 1. We're just gonna call that season 1. If you watch that, I was asking, man, go watch it. As a matter of fact, I ain't even about to explain that to you. Just go watch it, figure that out for yourself. But thought spotting, the idea behind that is, I'm giving you something to think about, like thought-provoking topics maybe that you should consider for yourself. Like, my last episode was on the last episode that I recorded. I don't know what day I dropped it, but I recorded it on March 5th, 2020. Yeah, March 4th, 2020. So that's 2 years, and that's 2 years ago, right? I'm not gonna tell you why I stopped recording. It's not really a good reason. I don't have a really good reason. All I can say is I got into some stuff that day, right after I finished recording it, and it changed my life forever, you know what I'm saying? But I ain't gonna talk about that today. I'm gonna have to give you a reason to come back, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, but let's get into the video. All right, so it's been 2 years. I know that I talked about having a kid on my last season, the first season. I talked about what does legacy mean. I think I talked about some music stuff, all types of stuff. I haven't even watched those videos. I probably should have done my own homework on my own podcast shit, but I didn't, and here we are. But in the last 2 years, I done got married. I have a 2-year-old now. He just turned 2 on May 16th. Today is May 31st. He's a good kid. Could be a pain in the ass, just like any kid. But he's a good kid nonetheless. I'm still with my girl, my woman, my wife. She was my girl at the time. She is now my wife. Boom. And then boom. This is just some fly shit. So last year, 2021, right? 2021 was a year of, I was stressed. I was stressful. I was stressed, man. When I did those last videos, season 1, I was 180 pounds, between like 180 and 185. I used to fluctuate. I still fluctuate. But at that time, I was fluctuating between 180 and 185. And then the issue that I just talked about happened. And then having a kid happened. And then the pandemic, which when we was inside, which would have been a good time to do this. But we're going to talk about that later. And a nigga ended up gaining like 40, 50 pounds. 180 to 225 is 45 pounds. So, 45 pounds. So you can understand the type of stress a nigga was under. You can understand that the pandemic got me just like it got a lot of people. And it was just a lot going on. And I'm just keep it a bean. Like, I didn't have no motivation to do what I'm doing right now. Fell into, some depressing situations, depressing moments. You know, certain moments you feel like you don't want to go on, but you choose to go on because you know you have to. And I know I can never ever willingly leave that boy by just and his mom, like on my own volition. Like I'm not, you know, that's not my cup of tea anymore. Yeah, so 2021 we, you know, just kind of navigating. I couldn't find a job. I got into some legal troubles. I couldn't be out past a certain time. You know, your rights just kind of get stripped as a man when you get in trouble in this country, especially as a black man. You know, a man of the land. Yeah, so shit got tough for a little bit, man, and you know, stressed out. Still writing, still making music, still doing all that. I was doing all that at the time, and it was an escape for me because anytime I wrote about what was on my heart, which was some stressful shit. And since that's really ended, I've noticed a difference in my writing. My writing hasn't been as strong, to me at least. And that could be a mental thing. I'm not gonna sit here and say, oh, stress is gonna make me a better musician or a better writer or better whatever. I just think that things are different when I'm not great at articulating the good things in my life, right? I don't think a lot of people are. You know, a lot of things are based off of the stress and you know, pulling from that place. It's always pulling from a dark place. It's never pulling from a brighter place, right? So to speak. So yeah, that was a little tough. But I feel like I wrote some of my best shit. The beat that's on here right now, I made that. It's probably not the best shit in the world, but I fuck with it. And if I fuck with it, can't nobody tell me shit about me. My wife, she started something called the Living Room Sesh. I'm her right hand in that. Still got Off Rip. We still with the content creating. I'm moving into something different right now. I'm not gonna speak too much about that. You're just gonna have to see in the next coming whatevers. But yeah. So the first thing I want to talk about today, I just want to give you an update. That's the thought spotting. That's today's version. It's not gonna be like that again. I just wanted to give an update of where the fuck I've been at. But today specifically, I want to talk about Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers, right? You know, I was waiting for a new Kendrick album in 2020. I was waiting for a Kendrick album in 2019. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've been waiting for Kendrick. So the fact that he dropped this year when shit is finally starting to go back on the up and up, a lot of that comes from the mindset. My mindset is changing, so things are going up. Like, that's just how it is. Like, if you change your mindset and you think about positive shit, you're gonna go up. Kendrick talks about that a lot. Not specifically on this album, but he does. But, you know, none of that matters. Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers. See, off the first listen, I thought it was fucking fantastic. I didn't think there was anything wrong with it. Like, you still can't tell me that there's something wrong with this album. I don't think there is. Obviously, Kendrick gonna give you the introspective bars. He's gonna give you perspective raps. He's gonna call you out a little bit too. Also, while calling himself out, you know, that's the genius in artistry. Some artists are just, Kanye's great at that. You know, Kendrick, I think those two rappers are the best. J. Cole too, to some degree. But those three are probably the best at that in my life that I could think about. But yeah, man, great album, man. Like, especially the first disc. So like the first disc to me is like literally the hard hitters. That's like the shit that like going into the Kendrick archive forever and ever. Nothing you can tell me. Let's start off with United Grief. United Grief, that's what it's called. First listen, I told wifey, I was like, man, I don't know about this, man. So it had me a little nervous. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was feeling like maybe the album wasn't gonna, cause you know, like somebody takes a long time, that means that like either they were experimenting or they just weren't making music. And he took a minute, and that was the first song. I wasn't really, I don't know why everybody else said they loved it off the first listen. I didn't, but I love it now. I still like it. I like it, but I don't like it as much as I like the other ones. Like I don't play it that much. When I do start the album, I typically started from N95, just cause like United Grief is cool. Like don't get me wrong, like great song. Like if it was the run, I would let it play, but I'm not running to it, right? So yeah, N95 I'm starting with, boom, every time. Doesn't matter. And I don't necessarily put this album on shuffle mode, really, because I like what I like, and you just want to hear it in the order that it was meant for. So N95, great track, right? That right there, I'll probably say, I'm just gonna give you a rundown of what I think every song is. We're gonna do quick hitters, boom, boom, boom. Or actually, you know what I'm gonna do? Because I'm doing this right at the top of my head. I'm gonna tell you the standouts on the album. And I'm gonna tell you what I didn't like about the album. So the standout on the album, the standouts are N95, to me at least. N95, Die Hard, Worldwide Steppers, Silent Hill, Rich Spirit, Lord have mercy, Purple Hearts, Father Time, golly, Count Me Out, and Count Me Out. I said Silent Hill already when I was script with that one because that wasn't in the second disc. And then the last, I'll say, Baby Keem, Savior in the Loop. That I like that more than I like the actual Savior song. That Keem, that's my guy. Keem, you snapped on that beat. I ain't gonna lie. Yeah, so he said, you ever seen your mom strung out while you studied division? That shit go crazy, man. That shit go crazy. Like, I can't even hold you. But nah, yeah, so those are the standouts. Everything else, like Mr. Morale, Mirrors, Mother I Sober, Auntie's Diaries, Crown, and We Cry Together, all great songs. But for me, they're not like replayable. Like they don't have no replay value. Like I'm gonna just keep it on it. Like they're good songs. I might listen to it. Could listen to it. Mr. Morale, I could listen to that. But it's not like the other ones. It's not the heavy hitters, and I feel like that's why he put it on the end of the album, because he knows that. Not that he knows that, but the songs are just drastically different from like the standouts, like I said. Overall, the album is, I think it's a great album. If you can give me 18 songs and I'm messing with 13, 14, I mess with all of them. But in terms of running it back, if I can run 14 out of them, out of the 18, like consistently, that's a classic. Not classic, because we ain't gonna say that, but we're gonna say that that's a good album. Like, if anybody could give you 14 out of 18 songs that are good, that's a good album. I know people don't like it because it sounds different, or you try to compare them to his other albums and all that good stuff. And, you know, that's fair because you compare artists to their old work. I think it's unfair in the sense that you don't like something because it's different from their other work. It would be different. Like, I mean, you like an artist for what you like them for, right? So I can't be mad at it either way. I think it's unfair to call it trash because it's not the other ones, instead of just saying that like this one's not as good. But if you're saying that, oh, it's not as good as the other one, so it's trash, then I can't ride with that. But overall, man, I'm gonna give this album an 8.5 out of 10. Kendrick is Kendrick. We may never hear from this nigga again, to be honest with you. And that would be very, very disheartening, man, because Kendrick is just one of them dudes. He's a goal of our time. And, you know, that would just be very upsetting. So the NBA Finals is on Thursday. Today is Tuesday. If you know me, you know that I'm a Steph Curry fan. So in part, I guess that makes me a Golden State fan. But just know it's always Orlando Magic and New York Knicks all day. So I guess that makes me a fan of three different teams. But is that a problem though? Because if you really think about it, right, the Magic ain't been good since Dwight. Knicks ain't been good since Melo. We made the playoffs last year, 4th seed, big what up. But a lot of people called that fluke because it was whatever they were saying, man. They called Julius Randle's season a fluke, man. You know, it kind of felt like that. But had Julius Randle played the way he played, he didn't fall. I don't think it was such a drastic change to the point where it's like, oh, he went from averaging 25 to averaging 15. He was just inconsistent this year. And I think, honestly, a lot of maybe life had like something to do with that, played a part in that, because Julius Randle was cooking shit last year. So he was cooking shit this year, but selectively. It wasn't like every single night. Like, it wasn't every night last year neither. He just was more consistent. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, NBA Finals start back on Thursday. The Warriors playing the Boston Celtics. Like I said, if you know me, I'm a huge Steph Curry and Klay Thompson fan. Really, Draymond Green. Honestly, Draymond Green is probably the reason why I jumped back into my YouTube channel, because Draymond Green is he's just a beast at what he does, man, and it's inspiring. And I already have a passion for, you know, writing and journalism and things like that. So, you know, he kind of pushed me back into this bag, and I appreciate Draymond. So I guess you can fucking say it, man. I'm a fucking Warriors fan, man. I don't care, man. I'm gonna just say it. But don't get it twisted. When Curry retires, I'm not gonna even be looking at them niggas no more. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's, y'all do what y'all do. We got Paolo, we got Markel, we got Franz, we got motherfucking Suggs. We over here with it in Orlando. You know what I'm saying? Old Town, what up? So yeah. But anyway, back to the finals. Back to the finals, man. So I got the Warriors in 5. I'm gonna keep it a bean. And here's why I got it in 5. When it comes to the Celtics, I feel like niggas, they still kind of move kind of like a young team in a sense. Like yeah, they got all that conference finals experience. I know Jaylen Brown been there like 4 times or something like that, or 3 times. And I know Jason Tatum's been there like 2 times or whatever. I know he's a year behind Jaylen Brown. So a lot of them dudes have that experience, but if you don't get over the hump, do you really have experience? I don't really like to make a decision based off of experience, because I think it's kind of a cop-out to say who you think is gonna win. But that's part of the reason. I think that their shot selection, I don't think they get great shots. And against a defense like the Warriors that are just so disciplined and they pay attention to detail, there's always seems like there's an extra body on the court when the team is playing against the Warriors. It looked like that when Luka was there, even though he had 240 balls. It looked like that. It didn't look like that much with Ja. And I think that because with Ja, the Warriors always have issues with players that can break you down and get into the paint. And the reason they didn't have as much of a problem with Luka as they did with Ja in the first 3 games of that series is because Luka's slow. You know what I'm saying? Like, so a lot of the bit, like Draymond, when Luka tries to go get that switch with Draymond is just as quick as Luka, especially without the ball. Luka's not a quick player. He's a more methodical, tactical attacker. Like, he's gonna hit you. He's gonna probably pull back a little bit, and he's gonna go again and use his body to kind of move you. But if you can't do that with Draymond, and you can't do that with Looney, and Wiggins is already faster than you as it is, and he's a strong dude as it is, you're not, you know, you know what I'm saying? So that's why Luka had a little bit of an issue. He don't have no lift and he's not quick. That's a problem. But players that can get to the cup at will kill the Warriors. Ja gonna be a problem. Kyrie. Those are two. Kyrie can get to the bucket at any time, no matter who's there. So that's why the Warriors struggle with those guards that can create in the paint. I don't see who is that player for the Celtics. Because now you got Jason Tatum. He's turning into a playmaker, but is he a great playmaker? I wouldn't say so yet. Jaylen Brown's definitely not a playmaker. Marcus Smart makes questionable decisions, and then it kind of stops right there. So, and then the Warriors are at home have home court advantage. So it's really that simple for me, man. Like I just think that the Warriors are gonna force them into some shots, and then now on the defensive end, you got to think about what Steph is doing. You got to think about what Klay is doing. You got to think about what Draymond is seeing, because he's gonna pick you apart regardless. I think Draymond, you know, he ain't the same Draymond. He's still great, but I think they need to use him as a secondary playmaker. I mean, I don't fucking know shit, man. You know what I'm saying? I don't know nothing. I ain't never played at no elite levels or nothing like that. But that's my so-called analysis. I don't want to ever spend too much time on it because, you know, like I said, yeah, that just is what it is. But back to the Magic, though, they have the number 1 pick for the first time since Dwight Howard, and it's a three-man draft. Well, no, it's not. It's not a 3-man draft. They got 3 players that can go number 1. It's not a clear cut. Oh, he's our guy. Even though I think it should be Paolo. Paolo was just 6'10", 230. Just a tank. His game is he's just gonna blossom, bro. Like, you give him a guard like Markelle Fultz and Franz Wagner. Come on, dog. Like, it really shouldn't even be no debate on who we take. I mean, honestly, I wouldn't be mad at none of the guys just because I think Chet fits probably the best right now because we still have J.I. Don't know what we're gonna do with him. We still got J.I. and we got Wendell Carter. And if you put Wendell Carter at the 4, or you put Chet at the 5, Wendell at the 4, Franz at the 3, then you put Suggs at the 2, and then you put Fultz at the 1. That's probably the biggest lineup in the league, damn near, rivaling like Cavaliers type shit. Like, that's a big lineup, bro. So I think we'd be crazy defensively because Suggs is already a monster on defense. Wagner, he can get better. Wendell is a beast on defense. And Chet is going to block shots. That's just what he's going to do. He's going to come in the league blocking shots. And he's probably going to knock down a few middies and jumpers. But the thing is, this isn't the 4th pick. This is the number 1 pick. So you need somebody that's going to change your fucking franchise. That's the difference. So like I said, I wouldn't be mad at any of the picks. Jabari, same thing. He's a better shooter than all 3 of them. They saying he looked like a baby KD or a Tatum. I don't know about that. I don't know much about his game, I'm not gonna lie. So I can't even really say. But like I said, I won't have no problem with none of them, man. I just think that just don't fuck it up. But yeah, man, that's about 30 minutes. This is episode 4. We back. It's 2022 version of If I Talk, Will You Listen? And we about to have some fun, man. I appreciate you if you watched this, man, if you paid attention to this, man. I appreciate you. Shout out Off Rip, shout out Living Room Sessions, shout out Super Music, shout out everybody that, you know, that fuck with me. I fuck with you too. Love.